Are you looking for the best clicky mechanical switches? In this video we will look at some of the best clicky mechanical switches. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. CLICKY Jade. Keyboard switch preferences are extremely subjective, but we recommend the CLICKY Jade as the best clicky switch for most people. These switches feel snappy and tactile, and their click bar design produces a loud, resonant sound signature click on both the downstroke and upstroke that's widely loved among clicky enthusiasts. Like all box design switches, these switches are also dustproof and a bit more resilient to minor spills, lending them impressive long-term durability compared to non-box designs. While some prefer the sound and feel of these switches stock, you can lube them yourself to dampen some of the harsher, metallic pinging notes that some like to minimize. Also, note that these switches are a bit on the heavier side. They're a bit heavier than the CLICKY White Owl box switches, which are our recommendation for the best typing click switches below, so keep that in mind if you use your keyboard for long stretches, as your fingers may tire out. On the other hand, if you're looking for an even heavier, more tactile, and crunchy sounding alternative with the same box design, check out the CLICKY Thick Clicky Navy switches instead. Number 2. CLICKY White Owl Box. While the Box Jade above is our all-around best pick for typing, gaming, or just browsing, if you're looking for a clicky switch exclusively for typing, we recommend the CLICKY White Owl Box. These switches can be a little difficult to track down from online retailers, but you can find them directly from CLICKY's website here. These switches have the same box design that features a click bar as the CLICKY Jade switches above. They aren't quite as loud, and the sound they produce isn't as deep, but they carry a pleasant ticking sound when you get typing at a steady pace. These switches are not only quieter than the Box Jades but are noticeably lighter to actuate, and their spring tension provides a much more immediate force drop once you've passed the tactile bump. This makes these switches a favorite among typists, as once you get a feel for these switches, you can more comfortably avoid bottoming out on each key press. Technical details and specs. CLICKY White Switch Clicky and Tactile force, 70 plus or minus 15 GF, operation force, 46 plus or minus 20 GF, return force greater than or equal to 15 GF, total travel a 3.6 plus or minus 0.3 mm. 5-pin CLICKY switches compatible with most hot swappable mechanical gaming keyboards or custom-built keyboard. IP56 rating, dust/water resistant, SMD compatible for 5-pin RGB/SMD hot swappable. Durability approximate lifespan of 80 million times of keystrokes based on laboratory durability test. Patent technology, contact plate and leaf isolated in a box, reduce the oxide foramtion, and gold crosspoint technology. Number 3. CLICKY White V2. For a more affordable typing alternative, we recommend CLICKY White V2 switches, which have a crisp, stable actuation and are much admired for their tactile feedback. They're also significantly lighter than many clicky switches and have an unusually long and responsive return spring, so they're a great choice if you love a click bar sound profile but are concerned about the heavier feel many clicky switches are known for. Due to their more budget price point, you may find the actuation feel less consistent between switches compared to higher-priced options on this list. These switches come pre-lubed from the factory, so they're also a great pick right out of the box if you aren't interested in opening and lubing your switches yourself. This link is only the shaft and switches for mechanical keyboard. Box V2 has upgraded on the material and structure which get better tactile feeling. It can only be used with SMD LED, can't use switch LED. All box switches in our stock are new edition, won't break GMK keycap. This switch is IP56 waterproof and dirtproof, has used 18K gold crosspoint technology which makes press feeling better. It can be compatible with 2x3x4mm LED and 1.8mm LED, however need to solder LED to PCB at first, then solder switches on 0.3mm round. Can't even use solder LED before switches. The lifetime is around 80 million times, which is longer than usual switches. Switch type tactile clicky actuation force 45 plus or minus 10 GF, bottom out force 50 plus or minus 10 GF. Number 4. Out Emu Blue. If you're working on a cheaper build and looking for the best clicky option, we recommend Out Emu Blue switches. These switches may be around the same price as our budget pick from some major online retailers like Amazon, but you can often find them cheaper from smaller retailers, like Switch Captain here. These switches have a more affordable and mechanically simple click jacket design, producing their signature sound only on the downstroke. They're also loud, even compared to most clicky options. However, these are among the lightest actuating clicky switches available, so they're a great pick if you're more a fan of the sound profile rather than the heavier feel of most clicky switches. However, their comparatively simple design means they're less durable and stable feeling than a premium box switch like our best pick, the CLICKY Jade. Some enthusiasts find these switches also feel fairly scratchy and produce a slight rattling sound. These switches offer reasonable smoothness, good tactility, and an ultra-lightweight feel at a price that's difficult to match compared to other clicky options, making them a solid entry-level choice. Number 5. KL Speed Bronze. For gaming, we recommend KL Speed Bronze switches. As their name suggests, these switches are all about reaction speed. They're lightweight and have a very short pre-travel distance, but you still get strong tactile feedback on actuation and a surprisingly clean clicking sound. These switches are well suited for fast-paced or competitive games when input speed is crucial. A short pre-travel means comparatively longer reset travel, so a faster initial reaction speed comes at the price of repeated input speed. This can be an issue if you play FPS games heavily reliant on tap strafing, for example. These switches are a great choice for any clicky enthusiast gamer as they provide excellent latency performance that many clicky switches lack, coupled with light actuation and reasonable smoothness from the factory that you can upgrade yourself with a bit of home lubing. Note that these switches typically aren't available from major retailers, but you can get them directly from KL's website here. Number 5. KL Speed Bronze. For gaming, we recommend KL Speed Bronze switches. As their name suggests, these switches are all about reaction speed. They're lightweight and have a very short pre-travel distance, but you still get strong tactile feedback on actuation and a surprisingly clean clicking sound. These switches are well suited for fast-paced or competitive games when input speed is crucial. A short pre-travel means comparatively longer reset travel, so a faster initial reaction speed comes at the price of repeated input speed. This can be an issue if you play FPS games heavily reliant on tap strafing, for example. These switches are a great choice for any clicky enthusiast gamer as they provide excellent latency performance that many clicky switches lack, coupled with light actuation and reasonable smoothness from the factory that you can upgrade yourself with a bit of home lubing. Note that these switches typically aren't available from major retailers, but you can get them directly from KL's website here.